People from South America would be safe, but the rest of us? Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? And buenos dias from a cooler Madrid, let's say. I think the temperatures have dropped a little bit in recent times. We're getting daily maximums of around 34, 35 degrees Celsius, which I'm going to be honest is a lot better than the 38s and 39s that we have had in recent times. So that's positive. I'm out and about early today. It's around 10 to 8 in the morning, taking the dog for a walk because Mia doesn't like hot temperatures at all. As soon as it gets over 26 or 27, she starts to take cover. Don't see her for the whole day, so getting her out and about bright and early so that she can get her things done and get her exercise in. And that's also part of my plan as well, to go for a walk, get some exercise in and take advantage of the cooler hours of the day. We'll say hello to Mia now. She's down here by my side. Mia, say hello to the camera and to some of your fans out there. Let's go. And we'll have a chat about some of the main news stories that broke in Spain over the last week or so. A summary, if you like, of the main news stories. So let's do that. Now, what were some of the big news stories that broke in Spain over the last week or so? Well, earlier in the week, it was all about wildfires again. I think I spoke about this in last week's news summary, but again, this week, wildfires hitting part of the country in Catalonia, the province of Tarragona. Wildfires out of control, some 3,500 hectares burnt. 18,000 people were forced into confinement to keep them safe, because as we know, people tend to do strange things and go out and about when these bushfires are raging. Some people, for whatever reason, don't understand the dangers of wildfires and they need to be confined, kept in their homes to keep them safe, and that is what has been going on over the last week or so. I'm not sure if the fire is under control yet. I saw that one firefighter died when he fell off a cliff while trying to put the flames out, so a tragedy has occurred there. And this fire, of course, in part due to the very dry conditions that we have had in some parts of Spain during the month of June, the hottest June on record according to the experts, and this is the result. And as I said, the second fire that has raged away in the autonomous community of Catalonia over the last week or so. So 2 serious wildfires already here in Spain, and the summer has only just begun. So don't know if that means that we're going to be in for a lot more wildfires over the summer period. I imagine that will be the case. So people traveling around Spain over the next few months, if that is your case, take care should you come across one of these areas affected by fire, if it happens. Now, while I'm on the subject of weather, there are weather warnings issued currently, especially for storms in the Mediterranean part of the country. I think Aragon is also under alert at the moment. Now, I'm just going to interrupt this video here with a quick update. I recorded the majority of this video on the 11th of July, Friday the 11th, early in the morning. And I said that the autonomous community of Aragon is expecting a Dana to hit. Well, it happened on Friday, later in the day on Friday the 11th of July. A Dana hit, and of course streets were flooded, cars were washed away, no lives were lost, fortunately, I don't think, and Spain's emergency military unit, the UME, has been sent to that part of Spain to help with the damages. So that's the update as far as the weather conditions here in Spain are concerned. But today, Saturday, the warnings are still around for that part of Spain, Aragon, and also for the Valencian community. So if you're in that part of Spain, take care. And there's also warnings next week for extreme temperatures. Temperatures in most of the country are going to rise again, get up into the high 30s. So a bit of a mix going on. One day thunderstorms, the next day extreme temperatures. Now, on a personal note, I have been traveling this week. I took my son to the north of the country, to the province of Ourense, the city of Ourense, a bit of father and son time. You guys know what I mean, right? And it was great to get to that part of the country, the northern part of the country, green Spain, if you like. Amazing to see how green everything is in that part of the country. Cooler temperatures as well. A little bit humid, but a lot cooler than it is here. And we had a great time. time going to different restaurants, recording some food videos. I've had my son operating the camera on recent food videos, trying to get him involved. So we had a good time, and as I said, fantastic to visit the northern part of the country where everything is completely different to the Dust Bowl that we have here in the center. Amazing. People that have been watching this channel for a while will know that the north of Spain is my favorite part of the country. I travel there regularly. Every year I try to head to the north of Spain, whether it be Cantabria, the Basque Country, Galicia, Asturias, because I absolutely love it. The food's fantastic. People are friendly, and I get away from my stressful life here in Madrid, which is always a pro, I'll tell you that. And it was in the north of Spain where another one of the big news stories this week broke. A car accident involving a famous football player and his brother, a Liverpool player apparently. I'm not really a big football fan, so I wasn't familiar with this person, but his name was Diogo Jota, a Portuguese football player who tragically lost his life in a car accident in the north of Spain. Nobody knows exactly what happened to cause the accident. The police here, the civil guard, are saying that it was excessive speed. Some people are saying that maybe it was bad conditions of the roads. Some people are also saying that a tire blew out, causing the accident. I don't know, but the fact of the matter is that the Lamborghini that the two men were driving in veered off the road and burst into flames. And this story took a twist later in the week when a Portuguese truck driver who was travelling along the same road said that the two men passed him and they weren't speeding. So he is contradicting the version of the civil guard. So as I said, the story has taken a twist. And all I know is that I travelled along that same motorway maybe 1 or 2 days after the accident, and I'm going to say the condition of the asphalt was not very good, terrible condition. So not sure if that played a part in the accident or not. But there's no point speculating about cases like this. 2 people have died in a car accident, and we'll have to wait for the official report from Spain's civil guard because they are the experts. They've got the people that know exactly how to find out what happened. So we'll just have to wait for that. Now, to give you guys an idea of just how dry everything is here, check out the weed action that we've going on there. Extremely dry. I wouldn't like to throw a match into that because it would go up in flames very, very quickly, and it has in previous years. Not sure if it will again this year, but that's the dryness of this part of the country. And as I said, a huge contrast from where I was earlier in the month, where everything is green and everything looks so much cleaner and fresher. But this is what we're dealing with here. Now I'm going to try and find a place to sit down so I can continue the video, have a bit of a rest, and chat about the next thing, the next story that broke in Spain early this week, and related to the corruption scandals, of course. There we go, that's a bit better. I have found a bench to sit on, and we'll talk about Spain's current political situation, because I know some of you guys are interested in what's going on here as far as politics is concerned. Now, as we know, Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has a few problems surrounding him, corruption scandals mainly involving his former close colleagues in his political party, the PSOE, the Socialist Workers' Party. That's right, the Socialist Workers' Party, the party of Pedro Sanchez, and his former number twos, let's say, the people that were very close to him in the party, have been accused of serious corruption charges. One person is in prison, the other person is not. He has escaped prison because obviously the judge doesn't think that he is a risk, but the other person, Mr. Cerdan, as I said, a former close ally of Mr. Sanchez, is in prison. And of course, people are coming for Pedro Sanchez. There was a parliamentary session earlier in the week, and basically what Mr. Sanchez did was put it out there, see if he still has the support of his partners in the parliament, people that vote for him on all of the important matters, and basically he got through that test. everybody that has supported Mr. Sanchez in the past, all of these different political parties are on Mr. Sanchez's side still. And of course, the opposition party is furious about that, because there is no way, it seems, that the main opposition party here in Spain, the PP, can convince these political parties to turn on Pedro Sanchez. Now, I don't know what Mr. Sanchez has, I don't know what he offers these political parties, but believe me, it must be a lot for him to still be in power. Or maybe it's the way Spanish politics works. There's corruption, but nobody questions it because people are used to it. Maybe that is what the story is. Or maybe the alternative to Pedro Sanchez is worse than the current situation. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. But whatever the situation, Pedro Sanchez is still there. He's holding on because he has the support of these political parties. A lot of different political parties. We've got left-wing parties, we've got right-wing parties, we've got extreme left-wing parties, and we've got extreme right-wing parties supporting Mr. Sanchez. So nobody can really understand what's going on, but he's playing the system very, very well. And as I said, the opposition parties are furious about this. The international press is also putting the spotlight on Mr. Sanchez. The Financial Times had an article earlier in the week saying that Spain's Pedro Sanchez fights for his political life, but as I just mentioned, he seems to have won the battle, at least for now. But as we know, when it comes to politics, things can change very, very quickly. Just ask former Spanish Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy just how quickly things can change. So we'll keep an eye on this story and see if Mr. Sanchez can indeed hold on until 2027, when the next elections need to be called, or whether there will be some changes at the top level in Spanish politics. Time will tell. Now, another story that broke earlier in the week relates to immigration here in Spain. The newspaper El País, which is one of Spain's most popular newspapers, most important newspapers, published an article saying that the political party Vox, if they got into power, would deport up to 7 or 8 million people that they say have not integrated into Spanish culture. Now, if you're not familiar with the political party Vox, they sit on the far right side of Spanish politics. Some people question that. Some people say, as recently as yesterday in the comment section, I saw somebody saying that Vox is a centre-right party. Absolute load of rubbish. Vox sits on the far right because policies like this one here, deporting up to 7 or 8 million people from Spain, are pretty radical and far-right policies, and I don't know where they get their ideas from, or maybe I do. Now, I'm not sure who the strategist at Vox is, because to deport 7 or 8 million people from this country would leave a huge hole in the economy. A lot of jobs that Spanish people don't want to do are filled by people that have come to this country from other countries looking for a better quality of life, looking to get steady employment. So they've come into the country on goodwill, and of course now they have to put up with political parties saying things like this, that possibly they're going to be deported. Now, who exactly are the people that Vox are targeting here? Well, you can imagine they're people that don't have the same religion as the majority of the people here, maybe people that don't dress the same, people that don't speak the same language, of course, and people, as I said before, that Vox claim don't integrate. But where would the line be drawn? Would it only be people that don't have the same religion, who are not Catholics, that would be expelled from the country? Or would it be everybody who has trouble to integrate into this country, especially speaking the language? That's the question. Where would the line be drawn? Now, obviously, Steve-O is being a bit polemic with that comment, saying that British people could find themselves on Vox's list for not integrating into Spanish society. And it's true, some British people do not integrate into Spanish society. I'll say it again, some British people do not integrate. They don't speak the language, they don't necessarily like Spanish food, and of course they have trouble breaking their British traditions and culture. But would they really be deported? I would like to think not, but then again, Vox hasn't specifically said who they're planning to deport. They've only said people that don't speak the language and don't have the same religion and don't integrate. So it could be anyone. People from South America would be safe, but the rest of us? But anyway, stories like this always catch people's attention, make people nervous, and that is why political parties like Vox do it, because it gets them publicity. Nothing more than that, because remember, Vox is not in power at a national level, and I don't think they ever will be the majority party here in Spain. Sure, they have their supporters, people that want to make Spain great again like it was during the 1950s and 60s when Spanish nationalism was at an all-time high. Those people would like to see Vox in power, but the majority, I don't think so. But anyway, as I always say, time will tell. On that note, I'm going to wrap the video up. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. If you have anything to add to the conversation today, please, the comment section is the place for you. I would love to hear your opinions on some of the things that I have spoken about today. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you never miss a video when I publish it. Until the next one, hasta luego from my town here on the outskirts of Madrid. Bye-bye.